In the previous video, I showed you the Chinese mansion style Hakka Tulou and the specific type of it, the 5 Phoenix style. Those Tulous are not perfect cubes anymore. In this video, I'll show you several Tulous built on the slope of the hill. They do not belong to the Chinese mansion style category, but they all incorporated obvious layering, which made their shapes very unique. Each has a different approach on the terrace than on the slope. The hills, the Tulous, and the stream in the front are in such a harmony.
Hello, I'm Yan. Today I'm in Hakka Village in Fujian province. There are several interesting Tulou here. They were built near the bank of the stream. Today, let's see how Hakka leveraged the landscape to build their Tulou.
A stream flows through the village and it bends almost a 360 degree here. It's an on-tourism place. The village is surrounded by well-known and popular Hakka Tulous, but few people would come here. However, I really love it. The 3 Tulous on the bank of the stream were what attracted me here in the first place. I'll introduce this one first. Local people call it the chair Tulou because they think the Tulou looks like a Chinese-style chair. The Tulou is on a rock foundation that protects it from flood. The footage of me walking below the Tulou should give you the sense of the size of the river rocks and the height of the foundation. According to villagers' recount, during the largest flood they had experienced, flood water never reached the top of the foundation and didn't do any damage to the Tulou. The Tulou was built about 2 centuries after the first Tulou in the village was built. Residents had already had enough data about the worst scenario of the floods. The entrance is located on the side. Nobody lives inside now. The courtyard of the Tulou is very narrow due to limited land. The back building has 3 floors. The ancestral hall is on the first floor in the center. The front side of the Tulou has 1 floor. The rooms were kitchens. On the second floor were granaries. The corridor is super narrow, again due to the limited land on the slope to build the Tulou. On one side, the wing building has 2 rooms on each floor, and even so, they form different layers. The wing building on the other side has only 1 room on each floor. The significant height difference between the front and back buildings makes the corridors of the Tulou visible from across the stream. This is one of a rare case that the corridors could be spotted from outside. This is the 3rd floor. The rooms were bedrooms. It's a nice angle to see the stream. The Tulou next to it is also on the rock foundation. It's been converted into a hotel. It has an open front yard, which contradicts the common enclosed design of Tulou. I wonder if it was due to the conversion to a hotel. But I found an old photo, and it seems like the hotel pretty much keeps the original structure, except for taking away the low wall in the front. So this is really a non-typical Tulou. It has a 2-floor building. a front hall, a front yard, and some side rooms. This is the entrance, also on the side. The third one is my favorite. The front side has a little balcony sticking out. Half of it is open balcony and the other half is enclosed with windows. There are 4 entrances in the Tulou, 2 on each side. Unfortunately, all were locked on the day of my visit. I was only able to stick my camera in to film this. The first floor has open space. It was a tobacco mill ran by the family. It has a stilt style that's common in the hilly region in central Fujian province. The style is more common in southwest China than mountainous indigenous people inhabit. The diversity of Hakka Tulou was beyond my expectation. The back building also has 2 floors, but it's not the real back building. It's actually the middle one. On the terrace above is the back building. It has 2 floors and was the living space. The front, middle, and the back buildings are clear on this photo. The roof of the back building has 5 sections, layer upon layer. So are the wing buildings. The owner of this Tulou and the owner of the Changyuan Tulou were brothers. The 2 Tulous look similar from outside, but inside, the 2 brothers took different approach on similar landscape. One brother built the Changyuan Tulou only on this lower level and made the back building 3 floors. The other brother dug another level of terrace on the slope and extended his Tulou to the upper level. Behind the Changyuan Tulou is a terraced Tulou which is comprised of 2 quadrangle units on different levels. The 2 entrances are also on the side. This is the front yard. And below there's another quadrangle unit. It has 2 floors and has a very standard design. I don't know what it was used for. I guess it was the tobacco mill of the family or a place to raise livestock. Either way, the production activities were separated from the living space. The upper quadrangle is very close to a standard Tulou, but there is still a subtle difference. The back section has 1 more floor than the front section. Again, layer upon layer. Same as many Chinese villages, this Hakka village is a cluster of members of the same clan. The first Tulou built by this clan has collapsed. The square one by the stream was the second one and was built by the 4th generation of the clan. It's a standard cube and it was flooded countless times in history during high water seasons. In the 18th century, when clan members of the 13th generation decided to build Tulous across the stream, they learned a lesson and built a rock foundation. The terraced Tulou was built around the same time. As I've shown you, these 4 Tulous were no longer simple and boring cubes. Layering, which is traditional Chinese aesthetic, was introduced. They are vivid and they don't have the coldness of castle anymore. Behind the change of Tulou was the change of Hakka's life. After centuries of settling down, life significantly improved, security-wise and economic-wise. A member of the 4th generation moved 2 kilometers south and started a new village there. Villagers in these 2 places belong to the same clan. 13 Tulous in that village are on the UNESCO World Heritage List, named as the Hakka Tulou cluster. One day, if you decide to visit Hakka Tulou, and if this cluster is in your plan, I advise you to go just 2 kilometers further and spend some time to see the Tulous I just showed you. You probably have noticed that in this village, there is a gigantic round Tulou. For a long time, it was regarded as the largest round Tulou, but actually there are still larger ones out there. It has a diameter of 74 meters and the size of 10 basketball fields. It's like a stadium. On each floor, there are 94 rooms. It's not a Tulou built by a wealthy family as the case of most Tulous have shown you so far. Villagers decided to build the Tulou collectively, and they chose to build a round one. The earliest Tulous in this village were square ones, and square dwellings are the mainstream in China. Round Tulous emerged much later in this village, and they were the choice of local residents as they represent equality. In a square Tulou, even a standard one, the corner units are usually not preferred. Round Tulous don't have this issue. In the 1960s, the residents intended to build another circle inside. The ditch has been dug, but the project had to stop. That's why there are few units inside the Tulou. After showing you the gigantic Tulou, let me show you a tiny one. It's located in the Hongkong cluster that's also on the UNESCO World Heritage List. In the previous video, I was there showing you the Chinese mission-style Fujian Tulou. The tiny Tulou is on the other side of the stream. It has 16 rooms on each floor. Although the Tulou is tiny, no structure in the gigantic Tulou is missing here. It's even divided into the front side and the back side by the partition walls. What you can do in the small round Tulou is to hold your camera as low as possible and flip it upward. Then you can get this photo. It's a very popular angle of Hakka Tulou. Lower your camera to the floor and stand in front of it. You get my thumbnail photo. It's easier to do in a small Tulou than in a big one. Remember this angle when you visit Hakka Tulou one day. In the hill behind the Fujian Tulou, there is a square Tulou that has some special design. The exterior wall on the top floor in the front is made of wood, not earth. The back side of the Tulou is higher than the front side. This is a common feature of Tulou. Usually, from the second floor on, it would be flat, but
I once said Tulou is flat from the second floor on. One would not feel working upward or downward. Well, this is not the case of this Tulou. There is a step over there, and here is another step.
I'm not sure if the steps correspond to the terraced foundation or not. Like the previous baby round Tulou, this Tulou is also divided into front side and back side by partition walls. The back side has one more floor than the front side. They have 4 floors and 3 floors respectively. Again, layering. And this Tulou brings layering to a whole new level. The most eye-catching and creative design is this 2-floor pavilion-style tower embedded in the backside of the Tulou. In the central axis are the front hall, the middle hall, and the back hall, which is the ancestor hall. This is the second floor of the tower. Tobacco industry was what made Hakka in this region rich. In my next video, I'll travel to the center of the tobacco business in Yongding. There are 18 large Chinese mansion-style tulou along the riverbank. Most of them are in the 5 phoenix style. While showing you the tulous, I'll also tell you how tobacco was introduced to this hilly region and how Hakka ran the business. I'm Yan Yan. I make videos about sites of interest in China and histories and stories behind them. Subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.